Hello,
Hi,
I'm Sam. What is your name?
I'm Jim.
Where are you from?
I'm from England.
Okay, I want us to talk about your most exciting travel experience.
Oh, I think that would have been in Africa a long time ago, 1978.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. And yeah, we travelled to a lot of countries. I joined up with some people and we bought a Land Rover. We started out in Morocco and then Algeria and then down to Niger through the Sahara Desert, and then we went to Cameroon,
Wow.
where you come from,
Yes.
and then to Central African Republic, and then to Zaire, and then to Rwanda, and then to Tanzania, and then finally to Kenya, and then we sold the Land Rover, and I went back to England.
Wow, interesting. How many of you?
Oh, we started out as 6, but one person. Well, she was a girl, and there were five men. So
He was
or
key?
five. Huh?
You said he was key.
Yeah, she left in Tamarasset, which is in the Sahara Desert. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there was a bit more room. 6 people's a lot in one Land Rover. Yeah.
Okay, did you encounter any problem?
Well, we had a few little interesting things along the way. You know, like trying to get through rivers and things in, say, in Zaire. You know, you have to drive through rivers, and sometimes when it rains, you know, you get floods. I'm trying to think, but yeah, we had a few little incidents along the way. Yeah. One day we had to cross on a river, and I think that might have been in Zaire, and it was a very rickety wooden bridge, and I wanted to get a photograph of the Land Rover on the bridge, and then so I stepped out, and my foot went through a hole, and I dropped my camera, and it went down into the river, and I thought, oh, that's the end of it. There's no way I can get that back. And of course, a camera is important when you're travelling. So we drove off down the road, and then further down the road, I thought, well, maybe I can get it back. So we went all the way back again, and no, the river was too strong. There was no way I was going to get my camera back. So yeah, so that was sad. So from then on, I didn't have many pictures. So I had to get pictures from the people I was travelling with.
Was the road good? Yeah. When you were traveling, was the road good?
No, not always. No, it was good in places. Say in Algeria, all the way down through the desert, there was a new road to Tamanrasset, but then the road finished, and you had to go over the desert, and then you have to go to the customs place where it's you have to basically go through the desert, so it's quite, a little bit worrying, because sometimes you have soft sand like here, and you have to put boards under the tires, and sometimes the roads are so muddy, in the rainy season.
In the rainy season, okay.
Yeah, that sometimes you get to a bit where it started out as a puddle in the road, and then it's filled with mud, and then they've dug the mud out, and so you go down a bit further, it's a bigger puddle, and they dig a bit more mud out, and then it goes deeper and deeper, and eventually this hole in the road is so big that a big lorry can go into it, and and you can not see it. So it's but I think that's just the way it was at the time. It's probably very different now.
Okay, at that time, did you have problem with communication?
Well, in those days, this was before email and before, so everything we had to do was by post restaurant. In a post office, you had to go to the post office. You had to say to your family at home, you said, we think that in in October maybe we'll be in Kano, and so we did that, and it worked all right. Yeah, it worked all right. So sometimes we would reach a city, and then Oh, it's noisy here. Is that all, you can hear all those long tails.
Yeah, it's noisy. Yeah.
They rev their engines up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What did you learn from the travel?
Well, I think I learned that I'm not sure about travelling in a Land Rover or any vehicle. You know, just doing it, say 200 miles a day. It's not a good way of travelling. I think the way I like to travel now is to go to a city or anywhere and stay there and then travel out in all different directions. I think because then you get to meet the people, you learn something about the culture, and I just think it's a better way of travelling. It suits me better.
Yeah, in those days when you try to communicate with people and they don't understand, what do you do?
Well, that's always the problem. And you know, I've been here in Krabi for 3 years now, and I've been trying to learn the language, but I cannot. So it's always a problem. In Africa, it was interesting that a lot of the countries speak French. I think in Cameroon,
They speak
French.
French and English are official languages.
Yeah, so that was useful because when I was at school, we'd been taught French. So when I was in Africa, I probably learned more French than I did in school.
Wow,
so
interesting.
That was useful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. What about food?
Food. We never had a problem with food, but we were trying to live cheaply, so we were buying food and cooking it along the way ourselves mostly. We weren't going to restaurants, but no problem with food at all along the way. It was good food.
Okay, can you recommend someone to travel to Africa by road?
Somewhere. Well, there are a lot of places I would like to go back to and see again. I really, I found the experience of being in the Sahara Desert very interesting. So I always thought, you know, around Tamanrasset, they've got the Hogar Mountains, and I've always thought that I would like to go back there and spend more time there. And also, yeah, I really liked in Cameroon. I thought the people were very friendly, and I would like to see more of that. Yeah, and then once you get over to the east coast, you know, Tanzania and Rwanda and Kenya, you know, lots to see there. So, you know, it just felt like scratching the surface, really.
Okay, where did you go in Cameroon?
Where in Cameroon? Do you know, I can't remember much about the trip now. I would need to look at my diary to remember the names of the place. But I think we went to you know, we spent some time in Yaoundé.
Yaoundé, yes, that's the
right
capital.
way
Good.
to pronounce it. Yeah,
Yes.
So we spent some time there and went to the post office and yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed meeting the people there and eating the food and, you know, and having some beer sometimes. Yeah. So it's good.
What kind of food did you eat in Cameroon?
Oh well, I can't. You know, it's so long ago now that I can't remember. But yeah.
Yeah, in Sahara Desert, what did you see in Sahara Desert?
In the Sahara.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that really struck me is when the air is so dry that the temperature can be very high, but it's not uncomfortable. Not all the time you're traveling. You know, you're going along with the windows open, so it's not a problem. You know, the temperature can be 120 degrees Fahrenheit,
Yes.
but it doesn't feel uncomfortable. Whereas here in Thailand, sometimes it can, you know, it's so humid that it can be uncomfortable. So that was. But then in the Sahara at night, it gets really cold, really cold.
Yes.
Because all the heat, you know, goes up into space and it gets very cold. So that surprised me. Yeah, but I like to see the sand dunes, you know, very beautiful, and the way the rocks in the Hogar Mountain, they'd all been eroded, you know, into, you know, beautiful shapes, nice colours.
Wow.
So I got some nice photos from that area. That's before I lost my camera.
Did you see a lot of animals?
Not. Oh, did we see? Well, it was interesting to see. You know, like in the desert, you would see some things like I think they call them saligafudes. At night, they would, if you were in, you know, you made your camp there, and at night they would just run around in a circle all the way around very fast for hours at a time. These are like scorpions. You know, they're like scorpions, but they're like transparent. So we were kind of worried about them, but then we found that they, you know, they're not dangerous. Yeah. And then when we travelled on the roads, we didn't see many animals. So, but when we got to Tanzania, we went to some game parks. You know, like we went to Serengeti? It might be the Serengeti game park, which is, and then you actually see some animals. So you see all the animals that you would hope to see in Africa. You know, elephants and zebras and, you know, giraffes. And we saw, I think it was a cheetah or a leopard. No, I think it was a cheetah. Yeah, we saw a cheetah. So, yeah, that was great.
Okay, nice. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks for talking with me.
Right, yeah, and it's nice to meet you, Sam.
Yeah,
And,
nice to meet you
yeah.
too, James. I
And
really
hope-
appreciate your time.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of your travels and all your time here.
Okay, thanks. Have a nice day.
All right, bye-bye. I'm going to go for a swim now.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye, Sam.